Hey, this is Paul with a brand new episode of Paul Meets. In this section of the Paul Gough podcast, I get to sit down with very successful PT clinic owners and I get to lift the hood and get to see behind the success. I am fascinated what makes successful business owners tick. I like to look at their habits, their standards, their mindset, their drivers. And in this particular episode today, I'm talking to what I regard as one of the most successful solo practitioners in the Planet Paul community. Just 18 months ago, Ashley Kranz of Fort Lauderdale quit her job. She walked away after 12 years in the system, believing that she could do something better for her people, her community, and boy was she right. She is a booked solid PT with aspirations to get to a 7-figure clinic in the next 2 or 3 years. And in this episode of the show, I get to sit down with Ashley and find out what drives her, what her motivations are, the relationship, the interesting relationship between her mother and her father, and ultimately how those two influenced her decision and how one reacted when they found out that she had quit her job.
My mom said something about the hospital. Oh, you need to go see so-and-so at the hospital. They're in there. I was like, I don't work there. I'm sorry. And she about had a heart attack. She's like, what are you going to do? Well, how are you going to pay your bills?
She tells me her views on the state of the PT profession in general and where it's headed. The newsflash is that it isn't favorable for most PTs.
The insurance companies are dictating what you can do, how you can treat, how long you can treat the patient, what body part you can treat.
We get to talk about her best marketing strategies, ultimately what drives her on every single day, how she took habits from her days as an elite swimmer at a college in Indiana, and how those things are now driving her success inside of her PT business. So wherever you are on your journey, whether you're a big 7-figure business already or you're just starting out as a cash PT clinic, you're going to love this episode. Make sure you turn me up nice and loud. Ashley Kranz of Fort Lauderdale, ageless agility. She's a real star of the Planet Paul community, and I know you're going to love every word of this episode. If you want to meet people like Ashley, I'm going to give you a date to save. It is May 1st, 2nd and 3rd. We're all getting together and I'm going to reveal the location in the next couple of weeks. I'm planning one of our biggest ever events and I'm going to bring all of the superstars of the Paul Gough audio experience together in one place for one very special weekend. Save the date for May the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of 2026, where we're going to bring the superstars like Ashley of the cash PT profession together for one weekend. So save the date. In the meantime, turn us up nice and loud. Enjoy this episode of the show with a true superstar of the Planet Paul community. Come on in. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good. How did you like your catwalk?
You know, it was an experience.
Good. All right, let's dive in. We're going to find out what makes Ashley tick. This podcast is really about getting to the bottom of success and habits and standards, and just trying to find out what is under the hood of the successful clinic owners in the PT profession. And I'm going to grill you for the next 45 minutes about what makes you tick and what makes you so successful.
Excellent.
Tell us a little bit about your story, who you are and how you got started.
Hey, so my name's Ashley and I am from South Florida over near Fort Lauderdale. And I've been a PT about 11 years, 12 years in the hospital system for the first 10 years, doing side job, trying to build up to it. And a year and a half ago, I decided to leave the hospital system and do my own thing full time. And it's been an experience.
So what made you quit? You've started your own practice. It took you 10 or 12 years, but what was the trigger? What made you think enough's enough?
Working at the hospital ended up being more of a checklist. You're doing what the insurance companies want you to do, what the social workers want, what your boss wants, and it just, the more and more people, it just didn't seem like you were able to give each patient the care that you wanted to do them. I want to do this with this patient, but you can't because you've got 20 minutes, you've got 30 minutes. The insurance will deny your notes because you're not putting the right correct wording in. You're not, and it just became too much. I didn't go to school to be told so much what to do, how to do it. And just the patients weren't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying working with them. They weren't enjoying it. Like I said, it was more of a checklist. And I said, I can probably do more good for the patients if I dive out, do my own thing.
What took you so long then? Why 10 or 12 years?
Because I was comfortable. I thought that, it will get better. If I work harder, I can move up in the ranks of the system, get a promotion. The promotions were like, 25 cents here for the next 3 years. But you had an exponential amount of work added to you for that 20 cents raise. And like I said, I didn't know if anybody would come. Fear would be the main thing. You've got the system bringing patients to you. Whereas if you're on your own, you've got to bring your patients. You got to figure out how to do this. Would people like me? I don't know, but they seem to. So I'll work that.
What did you hope to get from then, specifically from starting your own business? What was the dream when you first started the business?
Well, one, I wanted to work with people the population I wanted to work with.
Yeah, which was
with younger, athletic runners, primarily triathletes. I wanted to work with them for a longer period of time, whether that meant hour and a half sessions or, multiple times a week, multiple weeks. I didn't want the insurance company saying, hey, you've had 5 sessions. They have to move on. I wanted to do more of a performance and maintenance side of it, not just treating the injury, and just getting to know them. It's a lot more personable. You get to hang out more. You get to tell jokes. You've learned their story a lot more than you can in 20 or 30 minutes working at the hospital.
When did you start to think, I can actually do this?
It probably took a couple months to say, hey, I don't need to have that backup plan in your mind. You're thinking, I can always go back to the hospital, get a per diem job, get a staff relief. But a couple months, and then people started coming and telling their friends. And then they would ask me sometimes hey, we finished the plan of care. We finished our sessions. I want to stay with you. Like, you make it fun. Can we come once a month and do a performance? Can we do exercise programs? I have a group of Pilates teachers that come in and they just work with me on Mondays. And we do a class. They teach me things. I teach them things, and it's fun. So when people started saying they wanted to come and hang out with me, that's when I knew I could do it.
Nice. What keeps you showing up today then? What motivates you today? You've left the job, you've left the stuffy corporate kind of world. What keeps you motivated today?
You can do more. You can have time off. You can have freedoms. You can have there's so much more you can do than just coming in and doing that checklist. What keeps me motivated? Hanging out with family. My sister just got pregnant, so she's having her baby in April. So I want to go hang out with her. I want to know that I'm not going to go broke if I go out on vacation for a couple weeks. There's trips to plan, to go on.
So today, as we were talking, Ashley's been in for a VIP day today and made the epic journey from Fort Lauderdale to the office here in Orlando, which it is for the traffic, if nothing else. You let slip that your dad runs a garage. His own garage, I guess?
He has an engineer. He's an engineer, by the way. He has his own company, and he has his side hobby is fixing cars, doing garage stuff.
So what have you learned from your father then? What influence has he had on you and your business? And maybe it's even just starting that business. What have you got from it?
He's the one who actually told me when I first started, he'd mentioned a couple times, why don't you just do your own thing? You're working for someone else, why don't you do your own thing? And I kept saying, no, I got this. The hospital will take care of me. Well, they did not. But he helped me and just didn't tell me what to do, but provide advice.
Yeah.
He's very self-sufficient, very smart man. So it ended up sometimes being too smart. He'll start to explain something. So I'm just like,
give me some examples of advice that he...
Advice. He basically said, you can do your own thing. Choose your own schedule. You need to do this. As in just setting up the business in general. How to get those certifications, how to do this. He said, basically, don't let someone control your dreams. You're in control. You went to school, you got your degree. Now, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to work for someone else, or do you want to do your own thing? And that's what I've seen him grow from, just him. Now he's a bunch of employees. Now he's getting ready to retire, sell and everything. And
does he try and meddle at all? Does he get involved? Does he ask about your business?
Actually, he does not. He does not. He said, how's it going? My mom does.
Go on, tell me.
My mom she's like, oh, well, people are still coming. Like, yeah, it seems to be working. They're coming. She's like, oh, okay, well, how? I'm like, she always asks, how do they find you? How do you, marketing, having a system, word of mouth. Just, yeah, it's a good thing. They're very close. We live in the same development. So if I ever need anything, they're like 10 houses away, sometimes a little too close, but it's nice having that extra support if I ever need anything. Like my AC broke last week at the office and my dad came over and fixed it. I was like, oh, that was nice. But just, he has an office actually a couple doors down. So that's real close.
Nice. It's interesting, the dynamic between a father and the mother. And the father's often, everything's going to be all right, and it's the big picture, and you'll figure it out, and there's no real specifics.
A lot of that.
But the mother's like very much day to day, worried, like almost shocked, like you say, that everything's going to be all right because you took a big risk. What was the conversation like in the house then, when you decided to quit your job and you moved from the safety net of a corporate job? Tell me about that. How did you break that news?
I actually didn't tell my mom. So I told my dad, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And he, like you said, big picture. All right, do what you want. Like, go figure it out. Because that's very much how he is. Read a book, figure it out. So I started working there. I told my sisters and I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I quit. And they were like, oh, okay. And it ended up, they kept saying like, is anybody coming? I said, no, not yet. But then I started getting some people to come in, and after like 3 weeks, my mom said something about the hospital. Oh, you need to go see so-and-so at the hospital. They're in there. And I was like, I don't work there. I'm sorry. And she about had a heart attack. She's like, what are you going to do? Well, how are you going to pay your bills? What about this? What about insurance? What about, I said, well, it's been like almost a month now and you didn't know. I've been all right. So she says she's a realist. My dad is very opportunist. You'll do it. Everyone seems to be figuring it out. So
it's funny how many people say that they're a realist,
yeah.
Which is probably code for negativist. Yeah. I remember the day that I quit my job in professional sport. I'd come home on the Friday and I didn't have actually any intention to do it at that point. I got given an ultimatum really, and it was, you either stop the side hustle basically and you commit to us, but we're not going to pay you any more money, or you're going to have to leave and go and do your own thing, because they knew I was getting distracted with it. And I just remember saying, this is like going to my head. I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to pull the trigger. And I gone home and Mum said, oh, how was your day? And I said, oh, it's been great. Oh, by the way, I've quit my job in professional sport. It was like, what? Like, what have you done? Have you thought this through? And I was like, Mum, I've been thinking about this for 2 years. There's been nothing else I've thought about for the last 2 years except quitting this fucking job. In fact, I actually don't know how I'm still in it at this point, because I knew I was emotionally ready to go. And I always just remember saying to my mum, because I think I was telling you, at this point I'd had whatever salary I was on, I was making the same in the side hustle, in the seeing my own patients. So I went from a very good salary, like double what most people would make, back down to an average salary, if you like, in a heartbeat. And I always remember saying to my mum, I'll get this right, I'll figure it out, because I've just bought back 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I've got 40 hours a week now. If I was able to do that in nights and weekends and after a full-time job in a professional soccer, if I've got 40 hours a week, just watch what'll happen. And I think it took me about 3 months to get that movement, and then maybe it's a year, if that, to get back to where I was.
That's kind of what Luke did to push me into it. So I'd been with Physio Funnels and started the workshops, and I kept saying, I'm gonna quit the hospital next year, so 2026. This was back in April, and Luke was like, okay. And so finally he was like, if you're not done in June, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna just hang around. And I was like, oh, June, that's like in 2 weeks. So I just needed that push. And as soon as I did it, he was like, what are you gonna do with an extra 80 hours a week or a month? And I was like, I don't know, sleep.
I just felt relief. I honestly remember driving home. It was a Friday afternoon, and I remember driving home, and my first thought was this: I've got the weekend off. Because I'd worked in professional soccer, football, right? So every weekend I was obviously on the bus and the coach going to the games. I hadn't had a weekend off in whenever this period of time was, in 5 years. And I remember thinking, I've got the weekend off, what am I going to do? And it was just like, oh, this is so nice. And I felt like I felt loose and light at the responsibilities that had gone. But this is what I was going to tell you. I don't think I've ever revealed this, but my backup plan for what I was planning to do to replace my income was to be a teacher. I'd actually registered with 3, I don't know if you call them here, like agencies, like teaching agencies, like a supply teacher. What would you call it? Like a supply teacher?
Yeah, I think so.
Like a supply teacher, right? I'd registered with 3 different supply teaching agencies, and I was going to get paid £100 a day. I remember it clear as day, it was £100 a day, and you had to put your phone on at 6:30 in the morning, and they'd call you between 6:30 and 7:30 if a teacher was out somewhere. A substitute, right? So that I promise you, I was registered with 3 to be a sports type PE, kind of PE teacher. And that was my backup. And I never got a call, for whatever reason, I never got a call off these agencies because I was quite specific. I'm not gonna go and do maths or history or any of that crap, right? I'm gonna do sports. And they did say to me, not many of the sports teachers phone in sick because they quite like their jobs, whereas like the maths teachers hate their job or whatever, right? So there's always like need for that. And I was like, well, I'm drawing the line at that. If I can't pay me bills, then I will. And I never got a phone call from these teachers. And then about 3 months in, the phone started ringing, but I'd quit the job in August when it was sunny and nice and the weather was good. And then the phone starts ringing around about December and January. And I remember my phone going off one morning about 6:30. I remember looking at it going, who's this calling me at 6:30? And I answered it. And it was one of these teaching agencies basically saying, oh, we've got a job for you today. And I said, oh, it's fine, I don't need you now. Like, click. So it must have took me 3 months from the August when the football season ended to the December where I felt comfortable. Between then and then, I was probably not frightened, like wasn't stupid, but because I had a little bit of savings.
It's uncomfortable. It's not you're afraid. It's I have enough right now. Can it?
Looking back, it's one of the best periods for growth when you're a little bit uncomfortable and frightened, and it's hard to explain that when somebody pulls that safety net. Even though I had the nice salary or cushion coming in as a private practice owner, like my side hustle. You just knew on the 28th that paycheck wasn't in. And that's what drove me. That was you're gonna have to fix this. But what you watch now, 2, 3, 4, 5 years on, right, and this is the curse, this is what you'll have to be careful of. 3 years in for you, you get comfortable, you hit a nice little paycheck and this'll do. I'm not the same motivated girl that I was when I couldn't pay my bills. And this is what we've talked about today. You've got to figure out how to keep the level of motivation and just be addicted to doing the right thing because it's the right thing. Whether you're rich or whether you're not rich, like whether you've got a big income or whether you haven't, if you can just keep that, that's where the real success is in life. So yeah, I don't think I've ever shared that with you, that I was destined to be a PE teacher could you imagine me as a PE teacher? But I write kids. I actually do go into the school for my kids. I do go in and volunteer for my kids at school. I don't think I told you.
English teacher, really? What?
Yeah. This is English. Yeah. This is how you spell fuck in English.
Football.
It's not egg ball, it's football. Tobias is obsessed with me going in to do his class. He wants me to go into his business class. I'm like, son, if I go in that business class, I'll be kicked out within about 10 minutes. This is $1 million. This is how we make it, kids. Like these 9-year-olds are going, whatever he's been teaching you, no, ignore everything. Yeah. Anyway, right. What do you think separates clinic owners who succeed from those who don't?
Dedication, not getting distracted. So, and not just distracted with TV or social media, but trying to do too many things at once when you could focus in and do one thing really well and then branch off and do something else. I think just being consistent, showing up. I knew last time we spoke, following up, callbacks, having just that follow-up system, very beneficial. I know that helped, when was it, June, July? That helped immensely. As soon as I started calling up or following up with people more than once, more than twice, they're not ignoring you. They're just forgetting, or they don't have time right then. And I've had people weeks later come back, oh, I saw your ad again. I saw your social media. And then I was like, oh my goodness, it works. Like, something you said is great. So when they start to do that a little bit, and then you see it more and more, you get more energetic. You say, this might work. This might become easier in a few weeks. This might be easier in a few months. So that just consistency. And I have that written around all my desk. Consistency, little Post-its. Do the stuff. Do what you don't want to do. I'm working on the filming part.
The fortune's in the follow-up, is what I've said for 10 years, and it's in the follow-up when it comes to marketing, but it's also in the follow-up in execution, because even after today, like I've openly said to you, you're going to make mistakes. Things are not going to be perfect, but if we follow up and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. So there's a follow-up in almost everything that we do. I think if you allowed me, I would tell you that the thing that separates successful clinic owners, you've hit the nail on the head, is focus. But underneath that, the ultimate superpower, I think, of somebody who's successful is humility, is the ability to ask questions. Mm-hmm. What you find with clinic owners, this has been my experience, clinic owners that struggle and bury their head in the sands, and they get lost in their own world of, I know it all. They get lost in their own world of, I'm great, because they've been a successful PT. And they are frustrated that this success as a PT hasn't translated to the success of a business owner. And what you find is they find it quite difficult. Unsuccessful business owners find it quite difficult to ask for help, because they've come through school and college, they've been high achievers, they've got good grades, they've been successful in their eyes of their family. But now this thing called business, which is a whole new dynamic and matrix that I need to learn, it isn't translating. It's like, I've been successful as a boxer and now I'm going to start a restaurant. The two have almost zero correlation. So the key, I think, and I see it in you have to have this kind of ferocious, I'm going to be successful, but equally, I might not be. And learn to balance between the two of, I'm going to be successful, but what if I'm not? And you use that fear, the doubt, the worry in a good way to drive you to ask the questions. And I think as long as you keep bouncing between those two things, and that's why I say to any business owner, focus and commitment and dedication and all of these things.
But also I'll say accountability, having your team, having a team, having people call in and say, hey, did you do this? No, why not? Like what kept you? You had the weekend off. You didn't have a workshop. So the accountability definitely it does differentiate. So 6 months ago when I was on my own, before joining in June, I didn't want to do something, I didn't, okay? I was like, hey, I've earned it. It's been a week of working. I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm going to take Monday off. So the accountability definitely makes a difference.
If I can add to it a little in what I see in you, I think the accountability piece is humility showing up. Most people are too stubborn, too lacking in humility to ever be held accountable, right? So you'll see it in your patients. Some of your patients will say, I don't need you, I can go do this on my own, right? And you might say to them, hey, come in 3 times a week. And they'll say, no, I can do this on my own. And somebody else will say, yeah, you know what? I think that's the best thing, because I don't think I can do this on my own. I do need your help, and I do need you to just tweak my exercises. So there's a level of humility to actually accountability coming into your life. And that, again, is something I've not spoke about a lot over the years, because it's so easy to talk about focus, it's easy to talk about accountability. But at the root of all of that is humility, that I don't know the answers and that I can't do it on my own. Therefore, I need you to, you have to let accountability into your life. If you want me to hold you accountable, 2 things have to happen. A, I have to be willing to do it, but B, you have to be willing and open to that coming into your life. So that is essentially your humility showing up. And that's where in the end, you're comfortable with accountability, you want it, you get it, you increase the likelihood that you're going to do something. As long as it's the right thing that we're talking about, inevitably success is going to show up. Yeah. What's the scariest thing that you've done in business, and how did you push through it?
Scariest thing? Well, other than leaving my not really comfy job, but that secure paycheck coming in twice a month, getting in front of people, doing workshops, doing videos, being right here, sitting with you. But
so what's the issue there then? Come on. What do you not like about it?
I don't like being center of attention. I know I can do, why not? I don't know. The thing is, when I was young, I always wanted to be.
You're the second child.
I'm the second child.
Are you supposed to be the center of attention?
I know, that's the thing. When I was little, I always wanted to be in the, #1 cast in the plays. I sucked. I was like first tree, the door holder. Like I was horrible at that, but I would try out for everything. I'd always go first in the book reports. And then gradually, as I got older, I was like, I don't like this. I don't know. And just once I start doing it, I'm fine. Yeah. I get comfortable, but it's just okay.
There's your humility again. I'm not going to be very good, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah. That we're working on. But same thing with workshops. I go in at the beginning, it's a bit rough, but 10 minutes in, they're pretty fun. We get to know the people, they're joking, they're asking questions, and ends up just being a conversation. And so I think that is actually the hardest part, not actually doing the work, not actually doing the therapy, but being consistent and doing things that I actually don't want to. So.
What do you tell yourself when it does get tough? When it does get hard, or you have those moments, what do you tell yourself?
Someone else has done it already, so why can't I? Like, you just got to do it. That's generally where I find out the most, I don't know if the most benefits come is from doing stuff I don't want to do. Mm-hmm. So it's just, you got to do it. So if I get it over with, then I don't have to do it tomorrow. So that's what I'm working on, doing it now or sooner. Not very good at procrastinating things I don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Just do it. I like Nike. Just do it.
What's the phrase? Just F and do it. Just JFDI. Just F. Do it. JFDI, isn't it? It's a phrase. Is that what it is? It is. No, it is. It is. JFDI. Well, it's a good one. If Nike don't want to trademark it, I will. Just fucking do it. There you go. Yeah, okay. What do you think about the current state of the PT profession?
I think it is becoming ridiculous. You go through all this school and you learn so much, and then the insurance companies are dictating what you can do, how you can treat, how long you can treat the patient, what body part you can treat. And it's just, I think, reimbursement.
Have you not, you were in the system then for 12 years. Have you noticed it got worse over that period of time?
It did. And then they started saying, we're going to pay X amount less if you treat 2 people at once, if you treat a Medicare versus private insurance, and there's always ways around it. So then it became, okay, you're going to treat this person for 15 minutes, this one for 30 minutes, and then go back. And so you're one-on-one, and it's the more and more patients you had to do throughout the day. Mm-hmm. It's just, it was not, I don't think it's sustainable. The burnout is real. I can get so worked up about it because you try so hard thinking, okay, you go into the job thinking you're going to help someone, but you got 15 minutes. Like, what are we going to do in 15 minutes? Grandma's just trying to get onto the bike in 15 minutes. So, and do you put a hot pack on them? Do you do this? They're not going to pay for either one, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Where's it headed then? Where does this take us on?
We cash pay. It has to be something that you can dictate how much time you're seeing the patient, something that you can spend more time with people that need it. Not everybody needs an hour. Some people can only tolerate a half hour. Some people can need an hour and a half. Being able to see the patients for a substantial time, doing instead of just only treating when you have an injury. Why don't we prevent the injuries from happening? Doing a maintenance plan, doing a prehab, preventative, anything before you end up breaking down. So I'm seeing a lot more of those type of patients coming in, and they know, hey, if I do this, it's going to be beneficial. I'm not going to get as sick. I'm not going to get as injured. So now people are willing to pay out of pocket for that. They want to avoid surgery, whereas insurance is pushing for the surgery. We can get the surgery in and then get them out. And I don't see the profession going very well.
What have you learned so far then from building a cash pay business about, Florida, America's view of cash, how open they are to it, the challenges that you face, the stereotypes, maybe the understanding of it. What have you noticed? What would you say about it?
So I'll say at the beginning, I kept thinking, people have insurance, they're gonna want to use it. Some of the people do want to use their insurance, but they end up coming back and saying, like, I didn't get enough treatment, the focus care I wanted. There are a lot of insurance companies that are not covering, actually their words, wellness. They want longevity. That seems to be, there was something on 60 Minutes the other day, and now all of a sudden, people are coming out, I want this wellness. This whole last week, 3 people brought up wellness and longevity. And what do we do to prevent getting osteoporosis? That's another big thing right now. What can I do to stay healthy? The insurance isn't going to cover that because I'm not sick. I don't have an injury, but I want to be able to play soccer later on. I want to be able to run later on. Yeah. So with that, I've seen more people are open to paying cash. You pay cash for your chiropractor. You pay cash for your massage therapist. Why not your preventative care? And people they're not against it. So, or even they'd use both. Hey, I have my insurance for this. I'm going to do this with you and do maintenance.
Yeah. I think there'll always be a pocket of people, whether or not it'll ever be accepted at the micro level. I'm always skeptical that the majority of people, I try to be real. I try to be just grounded in reality. The majority of people don't appreciate their health till it's gone, right? And I think, are hardwired that way, and we will never, ever be able to change that. But I do think there is a growing micro group of people who don't necessarily want cash pay PT, but what they want, let's call it choice PT. That's kind of what we're in with cash PT. We're basically giving people a choice, right? That was my breaking away from the national health in Britain, the NHS, where the socialist thing, they were given this thing, wasn't a very good thing, but ultimately what people wanted when they came to pay me, they wanted better quality PT, but we were never able to quantify that. What they wanted was choice. They wanted flexibility. They wanted to be able to dictate when they came. They wanted to dictate who they saw. They wanted to be able to dictate how many sessions they had, what type of treatment that they got. So in the end, it became about choice. And I think when you really look at cash PT, that's kind of what we're doing. The market exists because of a group of people, a micro in comparison to the macro, who have decided that system and the kind of shoehorning into that system doesn't quite work for them.
Yeah. And they also want the experience. They want to, I know so many stories about people that I wouldn't have time to find out if I were just doing with insurance, because I need to find out these 6 questions because this is what the insurance is looking for. But you get more personable with them. You can find out about their family, their kids,
and that's what you pay for.
And they come in and sometimes we just talk. Literally, we will sit, we'll do some bicep curls so they feel like they're doing something, but they just need to talk for 20 minutes and then we can get our session going on. It's an experience.
What's the best thing about running your business?
What's the best thing? Just being able to choose who I want to work with and being able to help people that want to be helped. They come in with what they think is an issue, and then we end up at the completely other end of the train, and they're like, hey, I feel so much better. I just need to do this, talk. I want to just, it's their me time, because a lot of them do have families, they do have kids, they do have jobs. They say, I come here for an hour and a half just to be here, and they stay. So being able to pick my schedule, being able to decide, I'm not going to work Friday afternoons. I'm not going to do, 6 o'clock on Monday morning. Just the freedom to choose who you're going to work with and what you're going to do. That's the best.
I agree. For me, it's always been, you've got your own personal freedom. But I think in business, you've got a wonderful opportunity to make people feel special. And that, I think, as we roll into the world of AI and technology and all of the things that might, if we're not careful, strip out basic human needs and conversations, I think the business owner that prioritizes and continues to prioritize, at the end of the day, we have a human being with a problem. Can the business solve that? Yes, right? We'll get paid for that. But ultimately, what will keep the customer coming back and keep the business owner excited is, for me, it was always, can you make somebody feel special? If they've entered your world and they've trusted you enough to give you their money and help you, or you help them with their problem, God, that was and still is to this day, it's the greatest privilege of a business owner, that you get to make somebody feel really special as a result of the interaction with you, which I think people get lost. They forget that in a world. If I was telling my kids now, what would be the number one thing? How would you easily be able to differentiate yourself from a competitor? I give you the clue. Answer the fucking phone.
I actually had someone tell me that yesterday. She said, I knew you were going to be different because you answered the phone.
Answer the phone.
She said, and you didn't just sit and take notes through the whole session. She paid in full yesterday.
Answer the phone. Smile and say hello. Smile, keyword smile. Say thank you for coming through the doors, and say please, and say thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. If you want to know how to win in business in 2026, I've just given it to you. I would literally tell my kids, when we go to any restaurants or any McDonald's or drive-thrus or whatever, I always review the interaction with the kids. And my kids at 6, 8, 6, 9 and 11 and 12 now, can spot it, and like they get to the point now where they go, Dad, like, is there actually anybody that's going to actually do anything nice here? And every now and again, somebody Tobias will go, she was nice, and we all go, I know. Like, we're quite surprised and shocked that, and bearing in mind that we live in Disney and we frequent Disney, you ain't even getting it there. Like, they're like Rottweilers on the way in now. Like, they're just looking for your pass. They have no interest in you. They don't care. There's no magic there anymore. It's like, have you got your pass? Can I just check this? It's like, whoa. I was at the basketball the other night, right? True story. Basketball, first game back for Magic, right? Courtside seats, had them all last year. Same two ladies who exist in the tunnel, right? Horrible. They are horrible. Horrible. I had no other words for them, right? Just snarling at you. Now I get it. They've got to maintain order, and you know the players are coming in and out of these tunnels, and it's fine. But there's a way to do it. Anyway, first game back. So I go and sit in my seats, and the lady said, didn't say anything, didn't say hello, didn't say thanks for coming back, nothing. Can I just check these are your seats for this season? And I had a drink in my hand, I went, excuse me? I said, first of all, hello, like, nice to see you, right? I've seen you 20 games last season, every Tuesday or every Saturday. Well, I just need to check, are these your seats? I said, well, of course they're our seats. I said, well, that's why I'm sat in them. She said, it was just a couple of times last year you sat in different seats. I said, I know, like, I didn't have tickets for the game them nights, so I had to go sit somewhere else. Well, I just wanted to check. And I just remember thinking, what? Like, I'm paying premium level, like, seats, tickets, not cheap. She didn't say hello. She didn't say nice to see you again. She didn't say how was your summer. She didn't say thanks for coming back. Thanks for keeping us all in jobs, because essentially that's what everybody who sits in the stadium does. You're obviously a regular, and we see you and your kids every time. Nothing. Just, is this your seat? She had nothing about her in any way that made me think. And honestly, it was the first game in. I remember Ted and Natalie going, I'm already thinking about whether or not I re-up on these seats next year because of them two. I'd be willing to go move somewhere else in a different part of the stadium, pay less money, and find a guy up there wherever I go up for a little bit, who always says hello, always remembers my face, always knows who I am, and I can pay a tenth of the price to sit up there, but actually be treated reasonably well by somebody. Yet if I left the seats next year, somebody will say, oh, well, he just didn't want to buy, or the economy, or whatever. It's like, no, it was these two bulldogs who basically man the tunnel, right? And you build that into the ethos of your business. Layer on's the marketing, layer on the AI, all of those things. Then it's an easy game, basically. So, hardest lesson so far?
Hardest lesson. Doing the things you don't want to do is generally the most profitable.
Doing the things that you don't want to do is the most profitable. Come on, examples.
Examples. Workshops. Being just consistency. Doing the social media. Being in the camera. For me personally, that is just being consistent in doing that. There's not... I wouldn't say one thing is detrimental type thing. It's just being consistent. And I always start off, great, these 3 weeks, it's great social media. I'm doing this. I did a workshop, and then I deserve a break. So that is, I don't deserve a break. I need to consistently keep going in order to deserve that break in the 2, 3, 4 years.
I'm going to give you a phrase, and I hope you remember it. The more breaks you take, the more you make. The more breaks you take, the more you make. The first 2 years of business, 100% agree. Get your head down, work, hustle, do all of that stuff. The 12, 13, 14-hour days, 100%. But you should never be too busy to find time for rest and recharge. All of the magic of a successful business comes from a creative business owner. A business that is stuck and flatlined is devoid of ideas and creativity, and just there's no shortage of willpower and desire and want to and effort, right? There isn't. What there often is working on the wrong things or the same things that are producing bad results, and that's a business owner devoid of creativity. You, as you go on your journey, and everybody watching, the ultimate reason in the end why a business grows, when all is said and done, is the business owner in a creative place? Can he think or she think differently about their marketing plan, their message, their offers, their programs, their customer service, their culture? Like, all of these things require a business owner in peak performance. And if you look at businesses, the odds are stacked against us to win, right? I think it's 80%. I was telling the guys recently, wasn't it? 80% of businesses are bust in 5 years. Statistically in the United States, 80% of businesses are gone in 5 years. 96% are gone in 10 years. So if you look at that, it won't be because of effort that the business owner closed the doors. It'll be because they ultimately copy what everybody else does. So you've got 96% of business owners are telling each other that they have to work hard, don't go on vacation, be there at 9 o'clock at night.
First 2 years. So I need to work.
No, you're right. And that's why I said, remember the phrase.
Yes.
Remember the phrase. The more breaks you take, the more you make. In the end, it won't be about, you've got a business owner who's currently working 16 hours a day who thinks that next year, because they didn't make as much money, the answer is to work 17 hours a day.
Yes.
And that's the mistake that they make. The answer is to come away from the business for a week, lock themselves in a room, go on a beach, be inspired, think deeply about their business and their problems, be reflective and get creative, get inspired by something and come back with a fresh perspective. The train track that they're on isn't working. The break takes them into a different train track and an option. It's a coach of mine used to call it a Control-Alt-Delete. The break is an attempt for a business owner to press Control-Alt-Delete, get rid of all of the stuff that's on the software and ultimately start again. Because if I keep running the same software, I get the same results. So the breaks are Control-Alt-Deletes. And I found that the more that I went away, the more that I traveled, the more books I read, the more I was inspired, and I'd come back to the office and I'd execute things faster. So I agree in the short term, but my worry is that it becomes the default. So Control, Alt, and Delete. Let's move into marketing. What's been your best marketing strategy or campaign so far? What's helped you to get to pretty much a full schedule at this point?
It's kind of a toss-up between, so the marketing that I do with my Facebook ads that come in, so I target runners, performance training, and workshops. So both of those systematize, is that a word? With the email system that we have, the follow-up, they tell me who to call, when to call, they give the voicemails. Those are my two marketing strategies. Obviously I need to incorporate more of the social media, more of my backstory, more of connecting with the potential people. But Physio Funnels has been doing most of all my marketing. So it's not one thing working more than the other. It's the team doing it. So I'm blessed.
What's one thing in your business so far, the 18 months, 2 years, that has changed everything for you? What do you think? That was the decision I had to make. And it could be anything. Anything that's got you to this point, because you've done amazingly well so far to get to a full schedule where now you're ready for that next phase of growth, and it's happened quick for you. So what do you think is the one big decision?
Not about decision, it's just the support, the decision to join y'all, because I had just come out of I wouldn't say it was another program, it was or another group that similar. They had a mastermind, they had, this is what you do, this is how we'll build your program, but I was not connecting with them. So for probably probably the 8 months before that, they had been saying, what can we help you with? What can we hold you accountable for? I had no patience. So I was telling them, you tell me, because I need to get some patience, and then you can hold me accountable. Like, what do I do? And they kept saying, no, you pick something and then we'll hold you accountable for it. But if you have no idea how to start up, it does not make sense. So when I stopped with them and then started talking to Cam and Amy about doing more with Paul, with you, I was very reluctant at the beginning because I had already gone through, I said, I'd done a mastermind. It didn't help me. It helped them, other people in the group. But so that was probably the biggest decision. Like, do I take another chance and branch out and go all in? Or do I try and do it on my own? And it ended up being having the team, having the accountability. I'm real big on accountability. Okay. Having people tell me.
That's you again, right? Let me go back into your past. You're I'm not going to say professional, but elite level swimmer. We haven't even covered that. So it's of no surprise to me that accountability is comfortable for you. It's because surely to get to that level, the level of accountability required of an elite level swimmer, D1 at college, like that must have been your breakfast, lunch, dinner,
it was.
So everything.
Having people just tell you, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to eat here, be at this meet, be at this practice. They give you the workout, like they told you what to do. You just have to do it. And that's what I was looking for. Tell me what to do, because I eventually will do it, maybe reluctantly, but I will do it. So having the biggest decision was just getting into another group and asking for help.
So what's the best thing I've told you to do?
What's the best thing? There's so many things. Just stop focusing on PT and do more of a performance. Do more of, yes, I am a therapist, but I have so many different things to offer. Yeah. The recovery, the nutrition, the fitness. So basically, instead of doing packages, do performances, do programs. So, and I think the whole second half of the day, we didn't mention PT at all, which I know you've been saying for the past several months, and it just doesn't click to me because I'm a therapist, I'm a PT. But the second half of just having the patients come in and they want more, they want to run, they want to swim, they want to do their sport, and they don't care really if they're in pain, how that they're in pain right now, they know they will get out of it. It just, yeah, the whole second half, we didn't mention pain, PT, anything. And it was eye-opening. It makes sense now.
People care about PT, just not at the level that the PT cares about PT. PTs are in love with PT. Surgeons are in love with surgery. If you go and ask a surgeon about your knee pain, it's like, he's just going to ask you which knife you want him to use, right? He ain't going to give you any other objection or any other goal or any other option. He just thinks that the surgery is the best route, right? Because that's all he knows. You ask a policeman the state of the crime in the country, it's bad, right? Because he hasn't had any conversations with nice people that day, right? He ain't spoke to anybody nice for 20 years. I remember my first ever girlfriend, that was one of the things. She wasn't really allowed a boyfriend at the time. We were like 17, 18, right? She wasn't allowed a boyfriend, and I was like, why? And she said, oh, my dad's a policeman. And I got it, right? Like, I didn't at the time, but years later I do. That he thought every kid who was 18 was a bad lad, right? And he was going to do bad things. And well, why wouldn't he? Because all he ever saw was 18-year-old guys. Like, they went and like, he went interviewing nice people in cells all day, every day, right? Who were 18-year-olds. So it was his mind. That's the way he saw the world, and that's fine. Like, that's the way he's seen it. Surgeons see the world that like everybody needs surgery. PTs think that everybody thinks that PT is amazing. Marketers think the best thing in the world is marketing, even though it is, marketing. The world needs marketers. And did you know that without marketers, nothing would happen? Marketers remind people of what they need to do next. Marketing and sales, without marketing and sales, people wouldn't do anything. I never understood that until I got really deep into marketing. That actually it's probably the most vital thing anywhere. If it wasn't for marketing, you might not go and see a surgeon. Like, you wouldn't understand the concept of health and doctors. So wherever you are, even health, like we're being marketed to go see a doctor one way or the other. So somebody who can put words on paper or on a video or on a TV is actually influencing somebody to go do something. So without marketing, nobody would do anything. So that's just my thoughts. Obviously I'm biased, but just like you are with your PT. But no, PT is just something that we're not, we find it hard to believe that people don't want what we have studied for 10 years.
They're also not looking, they're looking for a solution. They don't care what the solution is. And if you can incorporate that into something completely different, still has therapy, still has exercises that, I don't know, that just clicked with me today. So it took 6 months.
So what's next for Ashley? We've had a rapid rise to this point. What's next? What's the future plan for you and your clinic?
Got to hire someone a little bit, 15 hours a week to do my, I don't know, busy work. This is social media stuff, busy, yeah. And then just...
Can you remember the conversation we had about hiring, so that successful business owners, they're not hiring so that they can grow. They grow so that they can hire to buy back their time. What we saw with you was that you're at the point where there's lots of ideas, right? And shall I do this? Shall I do this? Shall I do the other? Okay, well, we can't do any of those things right now because you don't have anybody around you to help you. So what we were talking about was the mindset. Instead of thinking I'm growing my clinic so I can hire, no, we're gonna hire.
So I have time to do my things that I should be doing. So, so we're gonna get that going. it's just, it'll give you more time to think and grow, like you said.
So what is the goal?
The goal is to actually stop kind of offering PT and do more of a programming, more of a all-encompassed, all-incorporated program, and basically get better on my sales and narrow down and have options for everybody that they can't say no, instead of a one-size-fits-all, which I've been doing. Hey, this is your 10 sessions, take it or leave it. Have options. Not everybody's going to want the premium. Not everybody's going to want the easy, just fix me. So the goal is just to keep doing what I'm doing at a more specified and focused manner.
So I'm going to ask you again, what's the goal? Because I don't think that's the goal. I think that is how you might get to the goal.
What's my end goal?
What's your
Higher
goal?
and
What's your goal?
eventually get out of here.
What's your
Double
goal?
my revenue.
Yeah, now we're talking.
350.
Yeah.
350 for the next 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Have someone work my last evening hours. I keep telling that out.
So that
I can just take a break. Yes.
have a bit more freedom, flexibility, a bit more choice.
All of it.
Is that the goal?
Yeah.
There you go.
Eventually, yes.
I think that's the mistake again that we make. We think that the goal is the perfect oiled machine, as in the business. And really the machine, the business, is just the vehicle to a terrific life. The goal has to be this type of lifestyle, this type of travel, this type of freedom, this type of home, this type of quality of life, this type of thing for my parents that can provide. Like, those are the goals that we want. The
Personal goals.
that is the goal. Like the goal, the vehicle. Because if not, we're getting lost and we're getting caught up in the business being like the end all, and it isn't. The vehicle is nothing but the business is nothing but a machine, a vehicle that helps support and fuel a terrific life. And everything that you mentioned there is what we have to do to create the business.
No, I want to
give me a chance.
take evenings off. I want to be able to go to South Carolina. I want to go and just enjoy. Okay, I don't want to work these 4 days. That is the goal.
You cannot be waking up dreaming about having like various functions inside. Like, it'd be like me waking up thinking, oh, the dream.
You're saying, what's the goal in the business?
No, the goal in life.
Personal
The goal
goal,
in
just
life.
have more freedom. What is anybody's goal? Wake up and say, I'm not going to work today. Someone else can do it. That is eventually the goal. Just having fun, enjoying it, seeing less people instead of just seeing the people I want to, hanging out who I want to.
What skills do you think this will test you? What skills do you think you'll need to develop to achieve that goal? So we've got a 3 to 5 year goal to get some good quality choices in Ashley's life. What skills are in the way?
What skills? Myself, not even a skill, just getting over what my fears are, being in front of people, doing it. There's no, what skills do I need to overcome? I guess sales, but
Is it though, I wonder, is a skill the ability to overcome self-doubt?
probably. I think it's more just repetition. Is that a skill? Just doing it. The more I do things, just like swimming, the more you, I don't know, swim, the more you practice, the more you run, the more you just get better at it. So I guess that is a skill. Repetition is just training. Just, again, comes down to the consistency and accountability. That is my main thing. I know what I'm supposed to do, and you have so many examples doing it and getting over the fear of just doing it. It's not going to be perfect at the beginning. We found that out. It will improve. And I think I just need to have that light at the end of the tunnel. In 12 months, in 8 weeks, I should be able to talk. I should be able to do this. I should have that, I don't know, spiel down, whatever I'm working on.
Yeah, I think it's a good mindset to have, that the first workshop won't be great. And you hopefully look back in a year and look at your first ever workshop and are almost embarrassed at how bad it was. But at the time it was acceptable, it was great, and it was the first best bat, if you like, that you had. And it's the same with your first marketing campaign, first hire, first funnel, first ad, anything. You look back in the year and you think, God, that's embarrassing. That's pretty bad, right? But it was good enough at the time. And that's when you know you're making good progress in the business. there's somebody watching this right now who's just started a practice, who's trying to fill up a caseload. You've done it. You're on to hiring now, and we're starting to think about how we get you out of the treatment room already, 18 months in. So what advice would you give somebody that is at that point now? What would you say to them? They've just started a month or two ago, trying to fill it all. They've just been stuck and they haven't been able to get themselves full. What would you say?
I mean, the same thing I've been saying. Get with a team. To focus on one thing, either follow up, either, I don't know, working on your systems, and just have that accountability, and also just do it. Get over your fear. That is one thing. Don't procrastinate, because it's just going to be worse tomorrow. You're just going to have to do it again over the weekend. You're just going to have to just do whatever you don't want to do the most. That's generally the most productive or beneficial for your business. Just baby steps. What I been working on is less perfection and just doing it. So would you say 80% is good enough, 70% is good enough? And like you said, it will get better next time. It's just starting it, doing it, getting it out there, practicing it. Repetition's really big with me. So
that's your swimming days.
Yes.
The reps. Get the reps in.
Do your practice. It's not going to be great every practice. It's going to suck sometimes. You're not going to wake up. You're not going to eat right. You're going to feel it the next day, but in 2 days, you'll be fine.
Yep.
And you'll be back. And then you're going to love it, and you're going to miss it when it's gone.
I can see, the more I talk to you, I can see your swimming days in you as a business owner. There is something in it, and I've read quite a few studies on this, that people who are from that type of background are significantly more likely to be successful in business. If you come from a high intensity, high commitment youth, whether it was basketball or swimming or whatever it will be, you were able to play in a team, right? Or you were part of something, but B, with the accountability and that sort of dedication and commitment, if you like, that all you've done is transferred those habits and skills into business.
No, I will say the swimming, the athletic part, I wasn't the best swimmer. I was good, but it was the dedication. Just, you were there for your team. You were on relays. You were on meets. It builds discipline.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, not every practice was great. I got yelled at. It happens. But it just built that, tomorrow's going to be better. Okay. The next month's going to be better.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of credit for the athletics and the discipline and the waking up at 4:30 in the morning to be in the pool by 5. And it's just.
So that's why you start your day at 5. There you go. Everything's in the past. So you went to Indiana College.
I did, Indiana University.
So I've got to ask, what made you leave cold, dark, damp and dreary Indiana to come back to Fort Lauderdale? That must have been the hardest decision of your life.
Actually, it was, but I don't know anything about farming. I don't know anything about growing corn. And all my friends from school went back home, and I was like, great, now what?
Well, the only thing I know about Indiana is that Michael Jackson was born there, and that would be it. That would be about it. And the basketball team are not bad.
The basketball, we have a good football team this year. We're 10-0. Anybody watching or caring? 10-0.
They don't care.
No.
Michigan. Oh.
No.
Well, you don't want to see us here, so it's good.
No, I can play y'all next week.
Yeah, yeah.
No?
Yeah, we play real football in England.
Oh.
It's another conversation for another day.
Oh, God.
It's another podcast. We play with an actual ball in England, our football, not hand egg. Did you not know that's what they call NFL? Egg hand egg. Yeah, it's like there you go. So you're back in Florida.
I'm back in Florida.
You saw the error of your ways. Yeah.
Yes. I think everybody should go out and do their own thing for a little bit and then come back and then mess up again. And,
Yeah. So at least we mess up, it's in the sun.
Yes.
And there's margarita available very, very quickly.
Always.
Good. Right, Ashley, you're amazing. I'm going to say as well, we have footage of Ashley from the summer when she came to the event in June or July. And I would like to pull up some footage from Ashley of what she was like in that interview versus how amazing she is being today. This is progress. You were absolutely brilliant. Well done. Fantastic. Thank you. All right. That's it. Episode is over. We will be back with another episode. Check in on the rants and the highlights on social media that are being posted on a weekly basis on the Paul Gough Show. We'll be back again with another interview real soon. Hey, this is Paul Gough. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for even more, be sure to head over to Amazon and you can find my 7 best-selling books for physical therapists in private practice. Head over to Amazon and find me now.